Hey you guys! Happy hump day. We've made it halfway through the week. I am so excited to be back live with you. It's been, about 2 weeks now that we've missed our weekly Battalion Brief. Life has just been craziness from traveling and seeing lots of friends, staying really busy. So I apologize for missing you guys the last 2 weeks and for the time change. I know that's not convenient for everybody, obviously. But it's just a time that's going to work a little bit better in my schedule for right now, so that I can continue coming live to you guys and sharing some fun stuff. Hopefully each week. The goal is every week, but it may be more, 3 weeks out of the month, or 3 out of 4 weeks I'll be live. Inevitably things come up. And Wednesdays are a party night for me too. So some Wednesdays I will have parties. So anyway, enough of that. I know what you guys are really here to see. I promised a few more new titles. This mid-season release has been kind of weird for me because I normally will get all the mid-season releases at once and that's it. This time I got the majority of them. And then I've had some kind of trickle in as I've had credits later on. So I've got like 1 or 2 at a time coming in since they released in early March. So finally, I have 3 more of the newest releases, and they are pretty cool. They're ones that, obviously everybody prioritizes their lists. I know your wish lists are probably prioritized, ones that you really, really want, others that can wait a while. I do the same. So these were ones that I had said, I can wait a little while on those. I was less excited about them. And I think at least 2 out of these 3, maybe all 3 of them, really didn't release until about a week or so ago. So they took longer to release, hence I couldn't order them even if I wanted to. So just so you guys know, when a book is out of stock or hasn't become available yet, it's not just you guys that can't order them. Consultants like me, we can't order them either. We don't have like a backlog, back order system. So if it's not available, it's just not available until it is available for ordering. So don't feel bad if you ever can't order something because it's on back order. I can't either. So I get excited too when they come back in stock. So I have 3 books to share with you guys. And then I want to talk a little bit about my new favorite TV show, Obsession, just really quickly, because I just have to share. I've been obsessed this week. So anyway, the first book is the first illustrated thesaurus, and this one is pretty neat. It's obviously a thesaurus. It's a great reference option for elementary age kiddos. It seems to be geared on the younger side of elementary, hence the first illustrated. So the more I think about it, the first, when I ordered it, I didn't really think all that hard about who this was going to target. And I was kind of thinking younger, which doesn't make any sense. What, 4-year-old needs a thesaurus? It's obviously for elementary age, but I think it could work on the higher end of elementary as well, because the more I think about it, the older kids are, the more they're going to be, doing research, writing essays and short papers, the older they get. And so that's where they're going to start needing a thesaurus to have some different options for, words that are not used as much in their vocabulary. So that all being said, this book is very colorful and well illustrated, as almost all of our books are. They've done a really good job of kind of mixing things in on the page. You will see these are going to have a whole lot more of like the blocks of text, which we don't normally do, but it's a thesaurus. I mean, how do you really avoid that? You kind of have to have these lists to keep things organized, but they still did a really good job of trying to work in the illustrations with the text, kind of spread it out, make it more engaging and inviting. Overall, a good resource to have if you've got elementary age kiddos, or if you just want to encourage your kids to use different words. You want to help them expand their vocabulary. a thesaurus is a great thing to have on hand for that. So there's the first illustrated thesaurus. And the next two are for a little bit older age group, which is why I kind of held off on getting them, and they hadn't released, because I feel like everybody, not everybody, but the majority of you guys in this group have younger kiddos. So I tend to steer away from the older books just because I don't have as many people to show them off to. So this is a short history of the world. And this one's kind of like a little pocket-sized book. Well, not necessarily pocket-sized. I mean, it's smaller than the other like reference books. So I don't know if I'd call this a reference style necessarily, but it's definitely like nonfiction, history, some science and stuff too. But I like the way that they've broken this up. It's really inviting and engaging, I think. It's very pleasing to the eye. As far as the way that they've designed the pages here. And so, let's go back to that. The contents, it has the ancient world, the modern world, medieval world, early modern world, and so you can see it, you know, flows through. And then there's also internet links in this book as well, which is awesome. But I just think it's really cool, kind of the way they've got it sectioned off. Then they've got your dates at the top and your location, you know, what they're talking about at the top of the page. For reference, which is great for organization. But it kind of covers everything, from different civilizations to conflicts, wars, discoveries, you know, ancient life, early Americans here for civilizations, the Indian Empire, different empires around the world. So it really does a good job. It talks about some religion as well. We've got the Christian church, monks, and Charlemagne here. European society. So it goes in depth. Well, it doesn't go in depth on every topic. It kind of gives you that overview of everything, which then you could, you know, pull up the internet links, and I'm sure that's where it does go in depth. So if your kiddos had, say, a research project or a paper or something that they needed to research for, this would be a really good resource. Or if you've got kids that just really enjoy history. My husband's a big history buff, so I think this would be something that would have been right up his alley as a kid. And I just love the way they've worked these illustrations in, because, you know, older kids, yes, they don't need like the illustrations, the childish cartoon pictures, but it's still really fun to open a book and there's some illustrations in it. Makes them, you know, more engaged. And a lot of the illustrations in here really relate to what they're talking about, which obviously makes a big difference. So they can see examples or little illustration drawings, diagrams, things like that. And then there's a great date chart here, kind of a timeline in the back, which is really useful. And then your index. So I think that one's pretty fun for being like a comprehensive history book. Definitely would recommend for older kids. I'd say middle school and up. Elementary school, it would work, but it's very comprehensive. It has a lot of information inside. You can see about how thick it is there. So that's a short history of the world. And lastly, we have a new activity book. This is the Never Get Bored book. It's hardcover, has a little strap on it, because your kiddos are probably going to want to put some pieces of paper in here, some sticky notes, some bookmarks, you know, all that good stuff. So you want to wrap it up and keep all that stuff safe. So this book is exactly what it promises on the cover. It keeps your kids from getting bored. So this is a great resource for your summer break, your spring break, your Christmas break. Anytime kids are out of school or you're on a road trip, you know, vacations, things like that, this would be a great option, especially for older kids. When I think of activities for older kids, you know, some kids kind of grow out of the drawing, painting, that kind of phase, and so they need more kind of hands-on, brain-engaging activities. And I feel like this book does a really good job of covering lots of different options like that. So here's your kind of table of contents here. It tells you basically all the activities that are inside, so you could take a peek. but there's like little challenges, little activities. They could easily do an activity in like 20 minutes. They could probably do this whole page. There's, you know, drawing, there's mazes, there's puzzles, there's little tests. Some of the things require other objects that are not included in the book, obviously. So it'll tell them to go find like a flashlight or a light in the room. Go find some paper, make a paper airplane. So really good brain working activities in here. Some little science experiments, just kind of a little bit of everything. They talk about science, art, I'm sure there's history in here as well. So it's a fun way to kind of incorporate those little fun facts and keep your kiddos' hands and minds busy, especially like I mentioned on breaks from school. So this would be a really good one for older elementary, middle school. If you can convince your middle schoolers to actually sit down and do activities at that age. I know that's kind of where they start, you know, telling you that you don't know what you're talking about. So they don't want to do what you suggest. So definitely good for elementary, older elementary though. A little bit advanced, I would say, for that young elementary age. I'd say 4th and 5th grade would be fine. 3rd, maybe, depends on the kid. But under 3rd grade, I wouldn't bother with this. I would find a sticker book, a magic painting book, something like that. And then it's got all your answers in the back, so they can check their work for those that do have direct answers that aren't kind of emotional or expressive. So that's the Never Get Bored book. Okay, so those 3 new books available now. And we just heard, I want to go ahead and just mention this, we just heard that the bath books that were pulled a couple weeks ago are not going to be coming back. They haven't been able to resolve the issue with the ink bleeding from the little floaters. So they've decided to just pull those until, you know, they can either remake them completely or fix them or find a different one. We just don't want to sell something that's subpar. And we don't want to drag you guys along on, you know, the research process of waiting to see if we can fix them. So as of right now, they're out of print. We will not be ordering more, but I'll keep you guys updated if we bring some new bath books later this year or next year. And then we do have a new customer special from last Friday, started last Friday, so you can find that post here in my VIP group or on my business page. And then really quickly, I just want to mention, because I want to hop off here, but I don't know if you guys have seen, if you're Facebook friends with me, you probably saw this yesterday, but if you have not watched The Handmaid's Tale, oh my goodness, you guys, go to Hulu, sign up. You can get a month for free right now. There's codes, you know, all over the place. And sign up for Hulu if you don't have it and watch The Handmaid's Tale. There's only 10 episodes. They're about 50 minutes long. There's limited commercials because it's a Hulu original, but it is so good. And I had never heard of it until recently. I heard a couple friends talking about it, and I am a big TV junkie, so I had to hop on the bandwagon and check it out, and I'm so glad I did. It was crazy, creepy, kind of eerie style show, but it's based off of a book. I personally have not read the book, so now I feel like I need to, because I need to see what was different in the book versus the show. But their season 2 is coming out on the 25th on Hulu, so I'm excited for that. If you guys haven't seen it, definitely go jump on that bandwagon and check it out. If you have seen it, please comment below. Let me know who my fellow fans are out there. We can chat when the new season comes out. But no spoilers here. It is, let's see if I can describe it. It's basically a futuristic dystopian world where everything is different and in really crazy ways. It can be a little bit, like if you're a little bit squeamish, there's some parts that are a little like gory and kind of gross, but you can easily turn your head. I'm not one for like blood and guts, but I turn my head for those parts. But just, it's one of those shows kind of really makes you think, and it's like gets in your head and it's kind of scary, which I don't really like scary shows or movies. Can't really handle those anymore. But that one just, I don't know, kind of like gets in your mind, really messes you up a little, really makes you think. it's something really outside the box. So enough about that, but you guys got to check that out. So comment below if you've seen it. If you haven't seen it, let us know so that we can make sure we get you signed up for some free Hulu and you can watch it. Anyway, thank you guys for joining us for Battalion Brief tonight. I will be back next, I almost said Friday. I'm so used to Fridays. I'll be back next Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern for another Battalion Brief. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week and a great weekend. Bye, guys.